Coming up on this week's edition of Thunder Insider, we'll look ahead to the All-Star Weekend in New Orleans. We'll dive into how playing with the 66ers can help a player's game.
I'm just seeing it as an opportunity to get better day by day and one day help this organization out. So, I'm working hard every day and doing the things I can.
Plus, we'll take you along on a trip to the Science Museum with the Devon Kids Club.
Well, it's just nice that the kids can come and have fun while the parents can just watch them.
All that and more is coming your way starting right now. Welcome to another edition of Thunder Insider, and thanks for joining us here in the studios of The Oklahoman and NewsOK.com. I'm Leslie McCaslin. Well, it's the official midway point of the season as we get ready for the 2014 NBA All-Star Game. It's one of the favorite traditions for players and fans, and it's become a tradition here in Oklahoma City to have several Thunder participants. So let's take a look at where and when you can catch the home guys in action this weekend. On Friday night, of course, Steven Adams will participate in the Rising Stars Challenge. That's at 9 o'clock on Friday night, and assistant coach Rex Kalamian will be the coach of that game. Reggie Jackson will participate in the Skills Challenge on Saturday night. Kevin Durant will be in the Shooting Stars Challenge on Saturday night as well. That gets started at 8:30. And of course, on Sunday night, you can check out that guy, Kevin Durant, coached by the Western head coach Scott Brooks and his entire staff. And that again is at 8 o'clock on Sunday night. So it's going to be a fun game, and you've got to tune in to see all of these Thunder players and coaches in action. Well, as always, our insiders are hard at work and on the road once again as the Thunder went to the West this time to take on Portland and the Lakers. And so first up, let's say hello to Brian Davis and Grant Long. And guys, hello. We just talked about the fact that there are so many players and coaches representing the Thunder in this weekend's All-Star activities. This team has come so far in 6 years. I know you guys have loved watching the growth of this organization. Is it neat to see these guys now rewarded for that hard work?
It really is, and there's one guy that Leslie didn't mention because he's still in rehab from the knee injury, but Russell Westbrook is part of the equation that we look forward to after the All-Star break. But yeah, I think it really is kind of a stamp on this organization's progress to see all the guys that we have in New Orleans.
I think when you talk about the All-Star game, a lot of the time it's a popularity contest, but I think the guys that are on it, for the most part, for the Oklahoma City Thunder in particular, these guys have earned the right to be there. They've played at a level that suggests that they are one of the best players in the league at the halfway point, and I think it's a great opportunity to represent the organization, to be among the festivities. I've talked to players that have gone in this annual event, year after year after year, and they say it never gets old. And if you're a player that seems to be there every year, I'm certainly thinking that, that's an event that never gets old for you.
What does one of the focal points have to be of this team in the second half of the season?
Well, I think that they're going to have to blend Russell Westbrook back in, but the fact of the matter is that you're talking about an all-star caliber player, and this team has, I think, achieved its goal, Grant, of being better without Russell, improving and playing at a higher level so that when he comes back, that's just got another really big arrow in the quiver.
Well, I think that's going to be one of the keys as they move forward after the All-Star break, but I'm looking forward to the improvements that every individual is going to make also. I think Kendrick Perkins and Pablo Cephalosha have already started their incline as we are heading into the All-Star break. I think they've, over the last couple of weeks, have been starting to get better and starting to improve their game as they move through the season. So I think another adjustment that I'm looking forward to that I'm still undecided is that during or after the All-Star break, coaches will trim their rosters down and start cutting into their rotations. And I don't know if Scott Brooks is going to do that or not because he's been so productive. He's been getting such good production, out of his second unit players. So that's going to be a tough decision for him as to whether or not he's going to do that.
And think, too, Leslie, about, for instance, Reggie Jackson had that explosive second half in the Portland game the other night with Reggie as the leader of that second unit. I think you're talking high danger for an opponent. I mean, what other team can you think of that outside of the All-Star Durant doesn't get a field goal out of a starter in the first half and still comes back to win a ball game like the Thunder did in Portland? That in part, and I want to come back to this, the foundation for Thunder basketball. You can talk about the offense. You can talk about the fact that this team in 8 of the 12 games leading up to the All-Star break shot 50% or better. But you also have to look at the fact that in that Portland game, just as for instance, the Trailblazers shot 12 of 45, one of the most dangerous offensive teams in the NBA, shot 12 of 45 in the second half, and the Thunder had a lot to do with that.
All right, thanks, guys. Safe travel back, and we'll see you after the All-Star break, so enjoy your time off.
Have fun in New Orleans, Leslie.
All right, thanks. So the Thunder has had a lot of Sunday games this year, but those Sunday noon tips are few and far between. And when they do happen, it's a perfect time for a family outing at Chesapeake Arena. This past weekend, the Thunder put on a show against the Knicks in their final home game before the break. Here's more on a fun afternoon in Oklahoma City.
I'm a high school basketball coach, and we don't get to come to ball games very often, so Sunday's about the only day we can come. It's still lots of people excited around, you know, and only time I've ever been is at night, so afternoon game. This is my first afternoon game, and to bring the kids to it and stuff, so it's exciting. It's fun.
It's a different perspective, but one thing we like, we live 150 miles from here, from Oklahoma City, and so that means we'll get home for midnight.
First game, yes. We got here at 10:30. Then we came in, the lines moved quickly, and this buffet that we had was top-notch.
It's been a great experience. Didn't know what to expect. Got here when the doors opened, moved the crowd in. Food was fabulous. It's a great opportunity for a family and children to be able to come to an event like this.
Makes it much easier as parents to bring your kids out. The night's not so late. You can make a day of it and still get kids to bed on time for school tomorrow.
Go Thunder!
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
My whole coaching staff and everybody in Tulsa, we're following OKC every single game, and we're very proud of their progress and how they play on NBA scene.